Hello friends and welcome yet again to another video. It is May 8th, 2017. The 40th anniversary of the Grateful Dead Cornell show. Here's just the CD box set. You may have seen this in the last video, so thanks for all the new folks that have stopped by. Beyond sold out with this. The vinyl is still available. There's about 500 copies left according to Dead.net's website. So definitely check that out. I wanted to show you some vinyl finds. I had picked up stuff over the weekend. So we've been buying a lot of records, as you know, with some of the videos that I've been showing. And I was definitely in need of some of the paper inner sleeves. So I stopped by one of my old haunts and tried very hard not to spend any cash. I bought a few things, so I did want to show you just what I picked up. So first we'll start off with, so here's a record I showed. Should we go on this side or should we go on this side? How about this side this time? So here's something I picked up a while ago. If you watched my video, I went to, Sam and I went to Buffalo, New York, and I picked this up at a thrift store, not really knowing what it was, and one of somebody who leaves comments or whatever was like, "Hey, that's a Grail for me. Do you want to trade it? We'll get something going." And I was like, "Sure, whatever. We'll it'll come around again now that I know what it is." So this is actually the Batman and Robin record that has Sun Ra and some of the guys from the Blues Project on. So it's really cool, sort of instrumental. A lot of people said that, if you read comments from different sources or whatever, that they bought this record thinking it was more so the soundtrack, and it sort of had the Batman theme song, but that was about it. There's this weird clown sticker on this one. So that was $7. So it's in full blazing mono. Best way to hear this for sure. So glad I picked up another copy of that. Actually, it's got another copy of it, I guess I could say. This one's not in nearly as good a condition as the other one. The spine's a little busted on this, but $7, so I couldn't pass it up. Here's another record that I picked up that it's a band that to me is more of the CD era. So this is a compilation. This is from 2006, 2007. This is the Wooden Shjips Volume 1, which was sort of a collection of all their stuff that they put out on these like super rare, 7-inch records back in the day. So I was excited to get this because they're a band that I had all these compilations that had some of their stuff on it, but I really don't own any of their vinyl or anything like that. I think this was like $12 for this. So but I was excited to pick that up. So Wooden Shjips. So if you're into psychedelic sort of stoner rock, shoegaze, whatever they want to call it these days, sort of fits right into that genre. So, even though it's 10 years old, it's very modern in that sense, I guess you could say. So, this one was one that I went back and forth with it, and I was like, what, I'm going to get it. This is the Jaggers Come Again. It's a test pressing. So the Jaggers, to give you a brief history of them, the Jaggers are probably most well known for the song "The Rapper," which I think I want to say, maybe '68. I want to say was on Kama Sutra, and then the Jaggers sort of went on. Some of the guys kind of broke off, and they started the band Wild Cherry, and of course had a #1 hit with. Whatever the song was, I think I don't remember what it is now. Play that funky music, white boy. I think I don't remember. Was that them? I can't remember. It's just I'm not a fan of the Wild Cherry era. Anyhow, so they basically released, I think, I want to say 3 albums total. So there was some albums that were released. One album that was released on Jubilee Records. And then there was another album that was released on Kama Sutra, and then this, I believe, also was released on Kama Sutra. It's kind of odd because I never really see the album, but that was cool. Definitely a relic for $15, which, you know, like, they were sort of local. Donnie Iris was in the band, and he sort of went on, and I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to say because from a Pittsburgh sense, you know, he's like a hometown boy. Like he's a hometown hero basically. He grew up in a place called Elwood City, which is north of Pittsburgh. But I think his fame kind of exceeds what he actually maybe did elsewhere. Anyhow, so Donnie Iris was in the band, and this was their basically kind of reunion album, 1976, 75 or something like that. I don't remember when it was, but you know, the album normally goes for maybe $8 or $9 normally, but it's really cool to have a test press of it. Not entirely the biggest Jaggers fan, but I don't know. I may find somebody that would be interested in it for a trade or something like that. That was $15 for that. They did have a ton of Record Store Day stuff left over. You know, it's kind of interesting. Like it's sort of a sad state of affairs when you see sort of the Record Store Day leftovers, and you think of all the hundreds of people that went through and flipped through these records, and you know, some of the stuff is still there. This year I was like, you know, I'm not buying any 7-inches. Like, you know, I just kind of, I mean, I have a ton of, I don't even have anything like sitting right here or anything like that, but I mean, I still have some of the 7-inches that I picked up last year. You know, sometimes they're nice, you know, the psychedelic stuff and the things that Sundays puts out. I don't think I do. But, you know, they always have sort of neat little things. But they just keep like going up and up and up in price. But I did get this, which is the Bert Jansch, the Black Swan, which was, you know, basically his last album that he did before he died. So this has the Black Swan and then also a demo of it. So, you know, another album from 2006. It was sort of a very sweet spot of music for me. I've discovered a lot of really cool stuff, but, you know, during that time frame, 2005, 2006. So this was $15, but, you know, to me, it's sort of, you know, it's pretty special. I got to see him live kind of soon after that, and you know, he's probably one of my favorite musicians. So pick that up. Here's a used score. This was $12, and this is you know, speaking of Bert Jansch, John Renbourn, who he was in Pentagle with Bert Jansch. So there's sort of, you know, birds of a feather, if you will. This is actually a like after I'm trying to think of the exact time frame, but so when Pentacle signed to Warner Brothers, they also signed John Renbourn. So his earlier albums are like super hard to find in the United States. So the stuff on Transatlantic. I do have his, I guess you would consider it his first album, I guess self-titled. But this is basically a compilation of his first two albums. I don't remember what the other one is called. Another Monday is what the other album is called. So this is cool. It's $12, and of course you can see promo copy, and of course they're just these beautiful white label promos. So again, it's nice to kind of have this as sort of a twofer, kind of a way to get his earlier albums sort of cheaply, because they're super hard to find. So I'm kind of glad to have this. So very cool little score with that. And last but not least, I did pick up, I want to say it's new, but it's not exactly new because it came out in February, but I'm sorry, this side. This is the new Brian Jonestown Massacre album. It is phenomenal. It's, you know, Anton Newcomb always just puts out like fantastic stuff. These are on it's kind of like a lime green vinyl. There is one tune on this, the Dropping Bombs in the Sun. It sounds a lot like She's Gone, I think is the track it is. I can't remember what it is. I think, yeah, She's Gone. It's like sort of the same vibe, but like different lyrics and stuff like that. So there's 14 songs on this. It's a double album. So, you know, Anton Newcomb, I will always buy his albums. There's such great albums, and you know, he's a musical genius as far as I'm concerned. So there you go, 10 minutes, perfect time. So hope you have a great week, and I'll see you on down the trail.